Hello there, Dr. Samantha Durland here, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Live. And we're so excited to start the new year out, and especially start it out with you. So what we were wanting to talk about today was just kind of thinking about the new year and goals and thoughts coming up, as I think that's a really popular thought for a lot of people to be contemplating at this time. And certainly after we're done, never hesitate at all to kind of email in, Facebook us in, let us know what we can do to help you better, because that is our goal all the time, to try to continue to help more people in the way that they would like. So we don't know unless you tell us, and gosh love it, poor Lauren and I are working so hard to try to figure out trends in social media and what people like to watch and what they don't. And I tell her, I'm like, oh my gosh, we are trying way too hard with too many words. It's so fun because everyone, it's just fun to look at, what really kind of talks to people, and that's what we want. We just want people to hear that we care. So let us know what you would like this new year. Do you want us to talk more about food? Do you want us to just keep talking? Because gosh love it, I can talk, or whatever it may be. So what I want to talk about next, just looking through things, is just kind of in talking at the beginning of the year with people, like a thought that particularly was having, which brings me to this, the journey awakens the soul. Okay, one of my partners that I used to work with at the hospital gave me that for my birthday, and I put it right next to where I brush my teeth every day, and I think that to myself. And I just think it's so true. So many times in life, I went to medical school to think I'm going to graduate, and then I'm going to go to residency, and then I'm going to get a job. And then there was one day I was driving to work, and I thought to myself, I am going to be driving to work for the rest of my life. And it was such a different thought, because it wasn't like one thing to get to another thing to get to another thing. It's like, this is it. But really, as I've aged, I really think that you're never really anywhere. You're just getting to wherever it is. And that's a very different framework for me to think, and it hasn't been my traditional way of thinking, and so I'm just opening that up for people to contemplate. Really, that we think that, I'm going to speak louder, sorry. Really, a lot of times, we might take a little break from work, or we may have a baby, or we may have a sabbatical, and we think when we get back from that break or that sabbatical or from having the baby, we're supposed to have it all figured out. We put these time limits on ourselves. We put these expectations of ourselves that we have to be someone or do something. And the older I become, I realize I don't think we should do any of that. It's so hard to be patient, and it's so hard to be accepting, but we're constantly evolving into a better version of ourselves. And so really, we're never really anywhere. We're just kind of evolving into that better version. And so within that, I've been looking through all these patient records and things like that over this last year, just kind of asking myself questions and looking at trends. And what I just see is this same basic concept that, gosh, love it, life is really hard, and it's scary, and it's challenging, and we're all in it together, myself just as much as you. So really what we've created here, I believe, is we're just a group of people that are together that just try to help people have a good day. But honestly, when people come in, I'm starting to kind of change my mindset in that I know I can't fix something on somebody in like 2 days. I can't really fix it in a month. I can't really fix it in a couple months. And I don't really think I just want to help you understand, and I want to help you know what you can do about it and support you in that transition. But the true healer of every individual is themselves. And so I just kind of was thinking a lot about that this week, that we're always evolving into that better version of ourselves. We're just a facility that likes us to help you find tools and see how your body's working. So as you're evolving into that better version of yourself, whatever that is, however that's defined, is that you just know you have a space of people that care, that just help give you tools that just don't quit being there. And that's really cool. So if I could say probably the most valuable thing that we do here, it's that. It's that, because we're just always trying to help you, always trying to figure it out. But we're never really done with one thing, because it's always leading to the next thing. And I feel that myself too, that sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, if I get done with this thing, I'm going to be so much better next month. And I'm like, no, there's another thing that month. But you know what? Maybe it's going to lead to another thing another month. And if I just embrace it and go with it, then my constant realization of how to be a better version of myself, really that's what it's about. And that's okay. So I'm just realizing the more we do what we do is we're really part of people's journey, and we're thankful to be part of your journey, and that we have to be patient, and we have to support each other, and we have to not be afraid to change, and we have to want to do something different. So anyway, those are just some big thoughts to think about today. And I'm looking forward to the new year. I just look forward to learning so much more about autologous fat transfer and just being the best that I can be at help moving the stress from one area of your body to the next, because that is so fun. I love everything else that we do. I love helping people with sexual function. I love helping people with their skin, constantly revising the methods and the products that we have to be better versions of ourselves. So whenever we're recommending a tool or helping patients find a tool, we're trying to help them find the most cost-effective option at whatever it is that they're needing from us. And we constantly think outside the box, because I think a lot of times by the time we see people, they've been a lot of other places, and maybe some of the conventional therapies haven't been the most effective, but that's what I love doing. It's so fun. And you just know that we care. So that's what I look forward to this year. I look forward to continually evolving into a better version of myself and embracing patience, and continually trying to remind myself that if I tell everyone that life is hard, life is hard, our body is easy, embrace that myself. And then also continually try to simplify the processes that we do, because I overthink almost absolutely everything, which is potentially exhausting. And really, I probably shouldn't do that. So continually refining what we do, not only in the quality of what we do, but also the steps that it takes, so that it's easier for you to get the message of what we're trying to bestow. So I hope that all makes sense, and I did not ramble on. But going back to, life is a journey that awakens a soul. It just is. We're just on this, and it never ends. Any year, any day, any month of our whole life, there's a lesson to be learned, and we just have to have the courage to learn it. That's all. So I hope you have had a great day. And how about, are there any questions? I'm so excited. Okay, hotspot.
I had a couple patients ask, my labs come up normal when I see my PCP, but I'm not feeling like myself.
Okay.
What might be going on?
All right. So I actually kind of love that in a way, sometimes, because we are always looking for a reason why. But you have to realize that your body protects you from situational stressors, just like it does biological stressors, but it feels exactly the same. So if somebody comes in and says, I don't feel like myself, well, there's something going on. I would never say there's nothing going on, because that's not true. I oftentimes use an analogy of that Men in Black, like the little alien in the meat suit. We're all little aliens, and this is just my meat suit. I didn't get to choose that I'm 5'1" or have like a 3-inch vertical, but that's all right. I just try to rock it, right? And so 3 inches, it's really funny. I can't jump too high. There was one time I jumped on that little force plate with Hootie, and she asked me if I was tired. Meaning I didn't jump so far. And I was like, no, that's my natural vertical. But anyway, so I digress. Okay, but what happens is that when if your body that you're living in is tired, or I call it deficient on energy, then you feel like you're stuck. And it's very uncomfortable to be in a meat suit, if you will, that's deficient on energy, because it can make you feel anxious. It can make you feel sad. And when you don't understand why, it takes away hope. So what I love to do is I love to sit down with people, take the labs that you've already done. I also like looking for some additional things, because I found that some additional things in conjunction with what I was taught actually helps me a lot. So, and I've got these certain points that I love to look. And I love to sit down and listen to you, because then you can kind of start to figure it out. Because if it's a situational thing, sometimes we're just stuck, and you need to have the energy to think through it. If it's a biological thing, all you have to do is kind of fix the problem, and then your body sets you forth. But never lose faith that there is a reason that you feel the way you do, because your body would never lie to you, and your body would never hurt you, because its job is to carry you from the day you're created until the day you die, and it always wants you to be okay, because that's its job. So I would say there's something going on. People will tell you it's right, but we're just either not seeing what it is, or there can also be a lot of situational things. and to realize that situational stress can affect you just as much, if not more, than biological stress. And oftentimes, biological stress is a response to the situational stress. Long-winded answer, but that's what I would say. Okay, other questions? Okay, so that was our big question. So super excited about the new year coming in. And I also want to encourage people that, don't be afraid to come in or go ask for help. And so what I find is a lot of patients, even the first patients, when they come in, they'll get emotional when they first sit down. And I think it's just because they're scared. They're scared that I'm not going to find anything wrong. They're scared I'm going to tell them there's something wrong. And everyone who's in a meat suit that's deficient on energy feels alone, thinks towards the negative, and you think a lot of fear. That is what it's to be human in a meat suit that's deficient on energy. Pretty much all of us have that happen. And when you feel alone, you feel like there's no one else in this whole wide world that feels that way. And I tell people and talk to people all day long that that's not true, because I talk to people all day long that feel that exact same way. And I'm human too, and I felt those feelings myself. And I'm just super thankful that I got to go to medical school and I get to talk to people, because it's helped me understand how all of this kind of goes together in this way. And I'm just thankful to be on that journey with people. So trust your body. It wouldn't lie. If it doesn't feel right, figure it out. If the person that you're asking says it's not in their armamentarium to tell you what it is, keep looking. And I hope you guys have had a great holiday season, and I look forward to the new year. Oh, another question. I'm so excited. Okay, I love questions. Okay, yes. So it's coming up. Okay.
Can you do anywhere on the face with the fat transfer? Does it help acne scars?
Okay, so that is a great question. So this is about fat transfer and acne scars. And I love questions because I just love talking about things, about the human body. So you can do fat transfer almost anywhere on the body, but I don't do it like forehead or up here, because you got your eye sockets here. I don't like going into that. I just don't like messing with the eyeballs, because I just don't do a lot of that. But you can put fat transfer like in your temples. You can put it back here too, because what happens is our eyes, as these fat pads go down, they start falling down. So when you put it back here and here, it kind of lifts it up. You put it here, you could put it here, you put it along here sometimes, along the jowl line here, especially if you have like a jowl, then you kind of fill it in front and back and you reestablish that line. So for some of the finer it's kind of like drawing a picture. If I'm coloring in a big thing, I'll use the fat, but if I'm doing some delicate things, sometimes I'll tend to use more filler. But let's get to acne scars, because that's something a little different, because fat helps with support. Support goes down as we age of the face. Acne is actually scarring of skin, and that's kind of a different thing actually. So when you think of the skin, it's got a basement membrane, the dermis, and the epidermis, okay? So if I cut through the skin, I'm going to stimulate fibrosis and scarring, which causes a very different type of tissue, and sometimes it indents in, and it doesn't look like the healthy tissue on this side or this side. So I would actually equate acne scars almost like a scar, like I'm cutting through the skin. And when that happens, that scarring is very fibrotic. But the fibrosis is more epidermis, dermis type stuff. And so when we do fat transfer, we're actually putting that underneath the skin. So it would level it up, but there would still be a little bit of that dimpling. So for acne scars, it's actually a lot easier. Acne scars, you just have to fill in that fibrotic scar with this skin. And that can actually be by, you could do like a CO2 laser, although a CO2 laser is just more uncomfortable. My favorite skin machine that we have, that I just am a true believer of, is the Secret machine. And it uses the radio frequency microneedling, and it combines them in one. So you get, I feel like you just get better results than just microneedling itself. And it doesn't look so red and bloodied after you, like with microneedling. Microneedling, you kind of look like a road rash for a little while. With a Secret, you look red for a couple hours, and then you're on your way and nobody knows that you did that. Because when you do the Secret, it uses the microneedles, which goes through, but above the basement membrane, but at these tips, it's delivering a little bit of energy in that dermis. So as I think about what, that's how it's working. But if I were to like think about what I see outside in nature, how I'd equate that is when you aerate your yard, you walk through and you've seen that someone aerates your yard. It looks like there's a whole bunch of like poop in the yard. There's like all these little things because it's drilled holes to get air into the ground. So what happens when you microneedle, you're poking all those little holes, but then your body has to heal in. So it gets smaller and it gets a little thicker. So you actually kind of ultimately replace the acne scar with healthy skin by pulling out the old skin and bringing in the new. But you're not causing scarring. You're actually kind of talking to the skin in a way and saying, hey, I need you to come in and heal this area, please. Please come on in. And so it looks at it as a different way, as a chronic inflammatory reaction, or me actually cutting. So I hope that made sense. But with acne scars, I would actually do a procedure to the skin alone. But for support, I would use the autologous fat transfer. Any other questions? Ooh, those were so fun. So anyway, I hope you have a great, rockin', awesome afternoon. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, we do have our little secret special, not secret special, we have our Juvo special going on this week, which I'm super pumped about. And I've been doing, I do a lot of Juvo for migraines. So I just want to point that out too, that what I'll do, because a lot of us have migraines because we have tension, and sometimes it's a little cost prohibitive to go get all the Botox, and you can do little areas and actually have a lot of benefit. So I love using Juvo for that indication, and I just wanted to let people know that it's a rockin' awesome week to have that done if you wanted to, because it's a really cost-effective means to trial it. So, oh, and come to our event on Saturday, because we have a free coffee cart. And even if you just want to park the car in the parking lot and come in and get a free cup of coffee, have a great day. I'm so excited. So come on in and see how it's going. Oh, we what? Oh yeah, we have the barista. So the barista's going to become, the barista's coming and doing a lot of coffee. So, we love people. And Saturday mornings around here are just like super fun because everyone's kind of relaxed and it's just kind of fun. And it's great. So have a great week. I hope you've had a great holiday. And this is a new year for all of us to just continually grow into better versions of ourselves.